Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone. Casas does it again. It's gone. It's into the bullpen. This game is tied.
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high. It's deep. It's back. It's gone. Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
Welcome back to Play Tessie. It is episode 123. If you're listening on drop day, it is August 31st. This is the official podcast of Peace and Love, also known as the official Red Sox podcast of WEEI. Before we get going, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. All your podcast platforms, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. We really appreciate it when you guys do that. You can also find us on YouTube. And if you're already there, hit the thumbs up on this video and go to a podcast platform and subscribe there because that helps us out a ton. That is the way you guys can show us that you're liking what we're putting out and like the podcast. As always, the socials at Play Tessie on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm here with Sammy. I'm here with Pat. And during the week, I was excited to record this episode because we were having a conversation in our group chat, and the conversation stemmed from a conversation that is going to be had a lot in the offseason, and we're going to try to save it for the offseason because we're going to touch back on it so much, but it's the who do you trade from the left-handed outfielders, like who's going to get dealt. But it got us to a point where we disagreed on one thing. It was in the year 2026, who's going to be a better player, Jarren Duran or Roman Anthony? And Sammy tweeted out a poll, who will be a better MLB player in the year 2026? And then the two options are Jarren Duran and Roman Anthony. He got 479 votes on it. And it was really tight. It was 54% Duran and 46% Anthony. So there's a discussion to be had here. And it really is interesting because it can help you answer that question that we'll talk about down the road. Jarren Duran versus Roman Anthony, and Wilyer Abreu's in there too for who you're gonna deal, if you're gonna deal anybody. But Sammy, I'll give you the floor here to start because you were on the side of you think Roman Anthony is going to be the better player in 2026.
Yeah, I don't say that with a ton of confidence. Just if I had to pick who I think will be better by then, that's who I'd go with. And the reason I went with 2026, I thought that was the perfect kind of in-between year. 2027, Duran would be, I believe, 31, or he would be turning 31 that year. And for a guy who a lot of his success is predicated on his blazing speed, I feel like that would be too much of an advantage for Roman Anthony. And if I went 2025, it just isn't enough time for Roman Anthony to catch up to Jarren Duran, who, if you're a fan of WAR, he is 3rd in Major League Baseball right now. So you're not going to catch that guy right away. So I guess the reason I chose Roman Anthony is kind of what I just alluded to is Jarren Duran. Who is he if he doesn't have that 96th percentile speed? I still think he's a solid player, but is he a top 5, top 10 player in Major League Baseball? Probably not. So the question is, come 2026, 2 years from now, when Jarren Duran is pushing 30, not quite there yet, is he still going to have that type of speed? Is it going to be close to as fast as he is now? Because generally, that is a skill that doesn't age very well. Like there's examples where it does, but I think I'm pretty comfortable calling those outliers. So for that reason, I would give a slight edge to Roman Anthony. But again, it kind of like, what do you mean by better? We could expand on this topic in a lot of different ways. If you just look at WAR, maybe Jarren Duran will still be better because he's a center fielder. If you're more of a collection of stats and kind of formulate them in a way where, okay, I've looked at all these numbers, I think based on X, Y, Z, this player is better, then maybe you can make an argument for Roman Anthony. I'm not sure. It's impossible to tell, but it's an interesting question to think about because it's 2 years away. Would love to get some feedback from you guys because it seemed like we were all pretty split on the topic.
So I'll give you my argument for why I think it's going to be Jarren Duran. My argument is it really is just based off of how far of a gap there is today. Like with Roman Anthony, you've got a 20-year-old who just got promoted to AAA and obviously looks great. And we obviously all think he's going to be a stud. I think he's the best prospect in the Red Sox organization right now and should be a consensus top 10 prospect in the offseason. I honestly don't know how he hasn't gotten to that point. But that said, Jarren Duran, as you said, Sammy, is third in baseball in WAR. He is considerably higher than Gunnar Henderson. He is more than a full win above Gunnar Henderson. The rankings right now go Judge at 9.8 wins, Bobby Witt at 8.8 wins, Jarren Duran at 8.4 wins, Gunnar Henderson and Juan Soto both have 7.3. Shohei Ohtani has 6.7, keeps going down from there. It would take a steep fall and a quick ascent from Roman to pass him there. And this is a Jarren Duran who, you said it, Sammy, he's not going to be 30 yet. 29 is kind of one of those final years of his prime.
Whoa, it's not old. 29 is not old, by the way, just so everyone listening knows. 29 is not old.
Very young. It's very youthful.
Thank you.
Even though there's one person here who's saying it was old.
All right. Let's keep going.
Just saying. I don't know, man. You're not as fast as you used to be.
True.
But yeah, Jarren Duran, yes, I agree with you, Sammy. So much of his game is predicated on his speed. His speed contributes to so much of his value on the base paths, of course, but also in his defense, because his great defense, it's from his first step and his ability to overcome his mistakes because he's so fast. He doesn't take the best routes.
Yeah,
it's not the best route. So I understand that, all of that, perfect sense. But you look at the extra base hits he's gotten this year. Last year, 2023, his doubles were because he was stretching singles into doubles. He was using his speed, sprinting to second, and catching the outfield completely off guard. This year, he's hitting the ball hard. He's hitting for power. He's hitting the ball in the gaps. We haven't seen as many of those, stretch a single into a double hits this year from Duran, just because he's getting extra base hits naturally. So if that trend continues, and if he continues to hit for more power this year, he's hitting for way more power than we've ever seen him hit. I don't see any reason to believe that he's going to take a downward spiral in 2 years. I really do like the Jarren Duran situation. It's like he's got 4 years left, and yeah, I don't think Jarren Duran is going to age super gracefully just because of what his game is based off of. But you know what? You've got him for 4 years, and that should be the 4 years where his game is at its best. And with Roman Anthony, as far as that's concerned, we saw it this year with Jackson Holiday. Sometimes these guys come up and they don't produce right away. And we saw it with Jarren Duran. Sometimes it takes multiple years. We don't know how fast Roman Anthony is going to catch on. I tend to think he's going to catch on pretty quickly just because he's been that great. But I'm just saying it's not a guarantee. If this were a conversation of who is going to be the more feared hitter, which we talked about in our group chat, I think it's a fair argument either way. I would very much understand the Roman Anthony argument if we're talking purely about who is a pitcher going to fear more when he's in the batter's box. But the overall player, Jarren Duran, is one of the premier players in Major League Baseball today. I think it's a big expectation for Roman Anthony to overtake that by year 2.
Yeah, I was pretty on the fence with this one just because, Gordo, you said it, the chances of Duran taking an absolute downward spiral in a 2-year span is, in my eyes, unrealistic. But where such a big part of his game is so predicated on his speed, this is the fastest he's ever going to be. That's a fact. He's 27 years old. He has, I don't even know how many triples. This is his speed peak. So over the next 2 years, even though I think he'll be just as talented, just as good defensively, just as much, if not more pop, I don't think he has as many triples. I don't think he has as many doubles. And I don't think he steals as many bases. So that brings him down a bit to me. I still think he's going to be an absolute superstar like he is right now. But one thing that I said in the group chat yesterday was I've said this for years. My comp for Roman Anthony is a Kyle Tucker-esque. And I'm not saying he's going to reach that in 2 years. That would be completely ridiculous. But I was curious. I looked this up today just for this question. Kyle Tucker, when he was 20 years old in the minors, because I'm a nerd, 25 home runs, 46 walks, 109 strikeouts, 274 average, 874 OPS.
That's in AAA.
That's his age 20 season, which was, I believe, between double and triple A.
Nice. Kyle Tucker, kind of quiet, a quiet superstar in Major League Baseball. It's also like not out of the question that Duran kind of trends Kyle Tucker like gets a little more power as the speed goes away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
We've seen it this year. I mean, he's that's
20.
definitely been a focus for him. He didn't hit for much power the first month and a half. If he wants to get paid, that's how you do it. Because teams
20
aren't going to
home
want
runs,
to. Teams aren't going to want to pay for that speed because we've seen guys get paid for their speed and it hasn't worked out. But if he's hitting, if he can have a 30 homer season, that just gets wiped out the window. Like that's who you are then. If you hit 30 homers, that's what teams pay for.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna finish this season. In all likelihood, he's definitely gonna lead the league in triples. I don't know who's even close to him. He's got 13 right now. He's got 42 doubles, so I think it's a safe bet to say he'll end with about 50 when the season ends. And he already has 32 stolen bases, so he might get 40 when it's all said and done. And then home run wise, just got to 20. What do you guys think? Probably like 23, 24 he'll end with.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Pat, I want you to finish your Kyle Tucker thing. I just checked though. It was double A and single A. Double A and high A. So not triple A yet.
So Roman is already a level above him at the same age.
Right.
Kyle Tucker, that was in a 120 game span. Okay. 25 home runs, 270, whatever it was at 274 average, 878 OPS. Glaring, like it's insane how similar the stat lines are. Roman in 98 games, 18 home runs, 55 walks to 105 strikeouts. Those numbers are borderline identical. 284 average across double and triple A and an 886 OPS.
Damn.
That is literally quite the same exact stat line at the same age. So that's maybe legit. Not in 2026. It might even be 2027. I take Roman every day of the week, even though I think Jarren is going to he will be a valuable player for the next 4 or 5 years. But don't discount Roman. Roman is coming, and Roman is that guy.
Yeah, and Roman wasn't built in a day, so it might take him some time.
It's just, just like the reason we have this discussion is just, I don't know if it's going to be this offseason. I think most people do think it's going to be this offseason. But even if it's next offseason, like the move is coming. Like the Red Sox need to prioritize getting right-handed bats in the lineup. So Ceddanne Rafaela not going anywhere. So you're only going to have room for 2 of Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, and Wilyer Abreu in that outfield. We're going to get into that discussion, but who you think is going to be better out of Jarren Duran and Roman Anthony in the next couple of years plays a big role in that, because the Red Sox are going to be hopefully making a push to make and win a World Series in the coming years. Like, I think we all think the Red Sox are ready to take that next step forward. Obviously, a lot of that depends on how ownership is willing to approach the offseason. And a lot of it is dependent on how these prospects, these big 4 and more, come up and how much success they have right away. And a lot of it depends on how fast that pitching pipeline comes along. But based off of the progress we've seen this year, whether the Red Sox do or don't make the playoffs, I think we can all agree that it's been a big step forward in most regards, ownership aside, because obviously that was a big step back this year and that was a big letdown. But for what the team can control, I think we can all agree it was a legitimate step forward if you break it down individually.
Okay, speaking of individually, Jarren Duran's 2024 season, I know it's not over yet, but he's already got over 600 plate appearances, over 550 at-bats, so we have a pretty good, feeling of where he's going to finish. When it's all said and done, is this the best season by a Red Sox player since Mookie Betts in 2018? And how close is it to that season? Because it feels fairly close, lest we forget how good Mookie was that year.
Do we know Mookie's WAR that year?
Let me pull up. I'll pull up his
all of a sudden. It's so funny. We on this podcast have always been very anti-war, but the second Jarren Duran was like this elite, it's like now we love it. Like
I'm only
love
the
it.
only reason I'm using war right now is because it's like a quick snapshot on how to look at a guy. I don't mind war as like a big like overarching thing to look at a guy's career. It's just like
It is a flawed stat, especially if like you're evaluating guys that like the way I see, like you look at first baseman with it, like people always complain about like, oh, why does Costas not have a higher WAR? WAR crushes first baseman.
right. Yeah, it's like you can. Yeah, I get it. I understand why people like it. $1 million to the first person who can explain the formula to me, though. Anyway, all right. Mookie Betts, 2018. Wow, he didn't play as many games as I thought. Only 136 games, which Duran, I believe, is at 133 something. He's only missed 2 for his suspension. But Mookie led the league in runs scored, 129. That's kind of a team stat, yet still impressive. Means he's getting on base. 180 hits, 47 doubles. So I think Duran is going to beat him there. 5 triples. Duran easily clears him there. Here's the difference. 32 home runs. That's probably going to be about like 8 more than Duran. That's a lot of home runs. 8 more home runs.
He led the league in WAR that year at 10.7, and Jarren Duran's at 8.4 with a month to go.
Yeah,
it could be close.
It's going to be.
I think
close.
Mookie will, but Mookie also did that in like 30 fewer games.
Mookie also hit 346 and led the American League in slugging percentage in 2018. He outslugged JD Martinez, who won 2 Silver Sluggers that year. That's kind of nuts.
Mookie's season is definitely the better season, but if you're talking about best since then,
it has to be Duran. It has to. I just want to see how close this Duran season is. What do you guys think Mookie's OPS plus was in 2018? And if you're not familiar with that stat, OPS plus 100 means your league average. 105 means you're 5% better than league average. 110 means you're 10% better, and so on. What do you guys think it was?
172.
I'm going
higher by a good amount.
I was going to go into the 190s.
Not quite. It's 186.
Crazy.
So he was just unbelievable. Also, 30 stolen bases, won the Gold Glove. He was everything. By far the best right fielder to ever cover right field in Fenway. I don't think that's even remotely controversial. Take whoever historically great Red Sox player you want. I'm putting Mookie Betts over all of them. Nuke for an arm, fast as hell, great instincts. I'm so glad they traded him to clear some money. Isn't that awesome?
I
have a take.
We could go down that.
We
have this offseason. This offseason, we need to just have an episode where it's like, this is the episode where we're gonna rehash that. Because every time it comes up, we always go like, oh yeah, we were not gonna go down.
I can't. It's so embarrassing. It's like one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of the Red Sox. One of them, maybe not the most, but one of them.
We're gonna set a date and we're gonna do it. Pat, what's your take?
I think that this current season, Jarren Duran is the 3rd best all-star or best outfielder season for the Red Sox in the last 15 years.
Okay, so Mookie won. Who would
you taking? Is it Ellsbury?
Ellsbury, 2011.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah. No way. Really?
Dude, you have not looked at these numbers lately.
See, Pat or Sammy, hold on.
WAR.
Pat, I was on radio with Rob like around the All-Star break, and I was like about to start trying to make the argument that Jarren Duran's season could eclipse the Ellsbury one. And then Rob started throwing the Ellsbury season stats at me, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't."
Let's hear him. Let me hear him. All I remember is the 32 home runs, which was bizarre.
32 home runs, 119 runs.
Wow.
105 RBI, 39 steals. He had a 321 average, 376 OBP.
Did you say 119 RBIs?
119 runs, 105 RBI.
105 RBIs from the leadoff spot? How is that possible? How do you do that?
Because you popped 32 pieces.
But Mookie didn't even come close to that in 2016, and he hit, how many did he hit? He hit 32. Mookie only had 80.
Yeah.
What?
321 average, 376 OBP, 552 slug, a WRC plus of 150, and a 9.5 WAR.
What was the OPS that year for him?
OPS would have been 2011 OPS was, oh dear God, where is it?
I got it right here.
Please pull it up.
928. Oh,
Yeah.
and he won the Gold Glove playing a premium position.
Yep.
So, okay, yeah, you've convinced me. Holy shit, 2011.
But that wasn't your question, though, Sammy. You did say since 18.
No,
But
yeah,
I agree with you, Pat. I agree with you. I don't think as awesome as the season is for Jarren. I mean, Ellsbury should have been the MVP that year. He was the offensive leading vote getter for MVP. Got robbed Verlander.
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was Verlander or Miggy's Triple Crown.
No, it was Verlander.
I used to be like on board with the pitchers getting the MVP. I was like, oh, like it just like shows how extra good their season was. Like, no, I'm off of that take. Pitchers should not be getting the MVP.
They have their own award. It's
Exactly.
crazy to me. It's so crazy that you could do that. Like I feel like that devalues the Cy Young, because if a pitcher can win it, you're saying like, oh, the MVP is way better than the Cy Young. Just make it like they should rename the MVP award. Honestly, do like Cy Young and then the Ted Williams Award for the best position player or something like that.
Do you want to know what Jacoby Ellsbury's WAR for that year in 2011 was? He led the league.
Didn't he just say 9.25 or whatever?
I've got 8.3. Oh, are you on
B WAR or F WAR?
I was doing B WAR.
I was doing F WAR.
Okay.
Such a stupid stat.
Yeah,
God.
I know. It highlights why it's dumb.
There you go, there.
By B WAR, Jarren Duran's WAR right now in August, at the end of August, is higher than Ellsbury's WAR for that entire season was. I still think Ellsbury's season was better, but just something to note.
Yeah, wow. I knew it was a great season, and I remember being shocked that he didn't win MVP. Has to kind of do, I assume, with the Red Sox collapse. That couldn't have helped him in the eyes of the voters, but
it's true. If they'd made the playoffs, yeah, it probably cost him an MVP.
Man, dude, what a year. But yeah, if you're comparing 2018 Mookie and 2024 Duran, I'd give Mookie the edge, obviously, but the fact that it's close says a lot.
The fact that you asked the question at all, and that we compared the stats at all, and Jarren's just been that good.
Amen.
You just gotta hope he can keep it going for years to come. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but I don't think any of us expected anything close to this. I'll never forget our when we first all got together and our Who Says No's, and and by we I mean I'll say I, because I know I definitely had a trade of Jarren Duran being dumped in a deal to get Edward Cabrera to Boston. So very cold take on my part. We did a lot of that shit.
Gordo, let's say you have a batting order. It goes Duran, Mookie, Ellsbury, 1, 2, 3. Johan Ramirez is facing them. What happens?
Probably an immaculate inning.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I was thinking a 3-pitch inning. Just 3 grounders, all back to the pitcher. He fields all 3 of, or 3-line drives, so he just catches all 3 of them.
No, because he's got to show off his pinpoint accuracy to first base. So the 3 ground balls, and he just makes a perfect throw to first base. Just like he's like, I'm doing what John Lester just couldn't do, man, and I'm so good at it. Like, so yeah. I am better. Johan Ramirez, I am better than John Lester.
You know, that's what Craig Breslow said when the Red Sox acquired Johan Ramirez off of the scrap heap because the Dodgers didn't want him. They said, this guy is guaranteed to be better than John Lester.
That is the calculus. Science.
We're gonna send him to AAA though.
Yeah. You know, just hide him from the rest of the league.
Yeah, he's playing possum in AAA.
He'll be back for the playoffs, maybe just for the World Series. And if they don't make the World Series, then like you maybe just won't see him. But you'll see him in spring training.
Boy, is he good. Yeah.
He's amazing. 6 consecutive scoreless innings for Johan Ramirez. Didn't check if he has gone since then. But yeah, Johan Ramirez, my guy.
Fantastic.
Shall we get some nuff said in here before we get on out?
Yes. I can go if nobody.
Yeah.
I went to the Boston Red Sox men's baseball team game on Wednesday night at Fenway Ballpark of Boston, Massachusetts, and it was One Piece night. And I'm not a big anime guy, but my girlfriend and my best friend are super, super like die-hard One Piece fans. There's over 1,100 episodes, I've been told. And Brian Bayo is a huge fan as well. So everybody in the ballpark. So the main character, and I learned all of this on Wednesday, wears a straw hat. So like a little farmer hat looking thing. So billion of those straw hats in the crowd on Wednesday night. It was really cool to see, even though I haven't seen the show. I'm like, this is sweet. And then Brian Bayo had the cleats. Zidane had the cleats with like the main character, Monkey D. Luffy. Bobblehead right here. Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You got the bobblehead in the end?
Yeah, I got the bobblehead. Okay, so here's how I got the bobblehead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to tell it because I know you worked your ass off to try to
All
get
right.
it.
So I woke up in the morning. I texted my friend. I said, hey, let's get to Fenway early so we get the bobblehead. And then I went to go check the webpage to see if there was any info on like get there at this time or we have this many. And I realized you have to buy a special ticket. And I feel really bad because my friend and his in-law and his wife, they're not big Red Sox fans. Like they can probably name a few players on the team, but they don't really go to Fenway much. They were going because it was One Piece night and they wanted to get this bobblehead. So I'm like, I suck. I'm a terrible friend. I fucked this whole thing up and they're going to be bored at the game. So all day I'm texting everybody I know who has like some sort of connection to the Red Sox or goes to a lot of games. I'm tweeting it out. And finally, this guy, Brian, hits me up on Twitter. He's like, hey, I live in Texas. We got these tickets a while back. We really wanted to go to this game, but we're not able to make it. We got 2 special tickets. If I forward you my 2 tickets and you get the 2 bobbleheads, will you send one to Texas? And I was like, deal. Let's do it. So he forwards me the tickets. They're legit. We get 2 bobbleheads. Here's one of them.
Hold on. Hold that up. Let me see it.
Yeah, let me take it out of the little plastic bag. It's like a pretty nice giveaway, I have to say. I'm not opening it because I don't know if my guy Brian wants it opened. But there it is.
Oh yeah, straw hat.
And yeah, the straw hat. And so tomorrow or yesterday, if you're listening, I'm going to the UPS store and sending this to Texas because I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna get that to him, and I'm glad my friend got the bobblehead. I didn't ruin the night for everybody, and the Red Sox ended up winning the game. Most importantly.
Damn, you came through in the clutch, man. That's not easy right there. Did that guy reach out to you from Twitter? So it was like off of your tweet?
So the guy saw my tweet and reached out to me and was like offered that deal. And he was like, I'm trusting you, man. Like I'm trusting you to not screw me over and just like take my tickets and then block me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do that. I really appreciate this. So I'm seriously going to send it to him. It's a nice bobblehead. People were selling them for like hundreds of dollars at the game, which I think is the lamest shit ever. Like, get a life.
That's crazy.
Keep your friggin' bobblehead and give it to a kid. But yeah, we had a good time. One Piece night, really cool. Good job by the Red Sox. Obviously, this anime is massive. There were so many people wearing the gear, like custom One Piece Red Sox shirt. My friend got a Bayo One Piece jersey that he got online, and it was really cool. So, not my thing, but I really enjoyed myself. One Piece night, big hit. And Bayo obviously loved it too. Pitched the best game of his career. So just got to do more One Piece nights, and that's the key to make Bayo a superstar.
Right on. Pat?
Right on. So as we're recording this morning, the Patriots announced that Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback to begin the year. People are pissed, and I get it. You spend the number 3 overall pick on a franchise guy. He plays great in the preseason, even better in practice, does everything you could ever want to see in training camp and in the preseason, and the job goes to Jacoby Brissett. It's the right choice. Point blank, face value, it's the right choice because the O-line, don't know if you guys watched any preseason.
So bad.
There's 5 of me out there.
They
have no shot of blocking these guys. Like,
it's sad.
They were getting so much pressure all preseason from second and third teamers.
Yeah, let's put that out there. The Commanders played like their second strings and their third strings.
Yeah,
and Jacoby had the shoulder injury.
I mean, the Patriots picked up 3 offensive linemen from the friggin' waiver wire, however it works in football. 3 of them. That tells you a lot. Guys who other teams didn't want, the Patriots are like, please, 2 tackles and like 1 interior, whatever. I'm not a big
Pat,
football.
And then
Pat, you're saying people are pissed about this. Whoever's pissed about this, you saw Mac Jones. We saw how Mac Jones worked. He had a good first season.
My point. Yep.
And went down the tubes. And the commonly accepted theory here is the Patriots ruined him because they had mediocre receivers at best and horrendous O-line that couldn't protect him, and he developed terrible habits because of it. And
3 different offensive coordinators too. It doesn't help. And then Drake May in college, the thought process behind him not having as good of a year in his final year of college was his offensive line was really bad, and he started to develop some bad habits. Patriots have worked hard to get those kinks out. If you blame the Patriots for ruining Mac Jones, and yet you want Drake May to start behind this offensive line, you need to look inward. You're kind of cooked.
Yeah, you gotta
Pop off, Queen.
Yeah, you just reevaluate your life.
Do you think it would be? You think it will be like week 5 that he'll come in? I saw the schedule gets a little easier defensive wise. Like,
just don't let him face San Francisco in week 4. Just keep Jacoby healthy through week 4.
Pat's smiling. Pat's got a take.
Buddy, is week 5 the day? Are you kidding me?
What's week 5?
Week 5 is the only logical choice because Tom Brady's calling that game.
Oh, you gotta do it. Dude, you know what that would be? That would be so brat.
All right. The old man's trying to use the young man's lingo.
All right.
Dude, that would be so demure.
All right.
All right.
Joe, mute him, kick him, boot him.
Oh, God. Oh, he's gone. See you, Sammy.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank God. The next thing was going to be Hawk 2 spit on that thing or some shit.
No, that is not brat, dude.
All right. All right, I'll go last for my enough said. My enough said this weekend, getting married this weekend, got engaged like 11 or so months ago. Been planning the wedding with my fiance for a long time. It's a ton of work, and she's been just a huge superstar for that. And so I got a big life weekend ahead of me here, and very exciting. Not like having all of that attention on me kind of like makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm not nervous about it really at all. But it's going to be a really special time, and I'm really excited for it. With that PSA, we're not going to be able to record our series of 2 episodes coming up after the Detroit series. We've obviously had episodes for you guys after every single series this year. We really hate to miss them, but we're just not going to have the manpower to record anything for you guys. And so like with that, we're really sorry, obviously with legitimate reasons with guys being at the wedding, and Sammy's he's on the road for work. So he's going to be head in the books or whatever the
Denver.
fuck.
I'll be in Denver, baby.
What is a way to say busy that's like not commonly used?
Being tortured.
He's going to be busy being tortured. So we're going to, we obviously apologize. We definitely pride ourselves on having episodes for you guys after every single series, and multiple of them at that. But we will be back following what's the Mets series after that.
Yeah.
So we will be back, and we will hopefully the Red Sox will continue to still be in this race at that point, and hopefully be closer to playoff contention, or maybe even in a playoff spot by that point. All we can do is hope, man. That's all we can do.
And because we're not doing an episode, Gordo has graciously agreed to invite every single listener to his wedding. Free food, free drinks. It's all on Gordo. You're all invited. We'll leave the address in the description. Just make sure you show up. Gordo wants as many
stop on
people
by,
as
man.
possible. Especially if you don't know him, just show up.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. And anyone without a formal invitation, this is per Gordo's request, and I'm not one to make a soon-to-be married man disappointed. Gordo's request: everyone wear gimp suits if you do not have a formal.
Bring weapons.
Yeah.
Jesus. And if you didn't bring a gift, take one of Gordo's.
I'll Venmo you, man. Just
Gordo
request it.
Gordo will pay you to show up to his big day because that's how much he appreciates you listening and subscribing to Play Tessie.
And the one guest who lets him know about the Sox score will get half of Gordo's gifts.
Ooh.
But only if they're winning. If they're losing, you have to match all of the gifts yourself.
You get a replica of Gordo's wedding band if you correctly predict the score of the Red Sox game on the day of his wedding.
Gordo
Leave it in the
will
comments.
officiate your wedding.
Yeah. I'm going to cut out a nice little square in my dress shirt and just glue my phone to my chest so Gordo can watch the game.
I'm ready for Gordo's wedding. Are you?
Jesus.
Sammy.
I happen to have a weapon on me.
I said bring weapons.
We're getting banned from YouTube.
Oh, this is fake. This is plastic. It's not a real weapon.
Oh, yeah, of course. But yeah, should be a great weekend. My dad's officiating it.
Is he really?
Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's sick.
Yeah, he's going to be good at it.
Oh, he's going to be more nervous than you.
Yeah, I know. I was at the game with him for the last game of the Blue Jays series. I was like, "You ready to go?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to mess it up." And I was like, "What's there to mess up? Like, you got the stuff to read off. Like, your dad, you can't mess it up." And he's very well written and well spoken. Like, the dude is a smart man. So excited for him to do that.
It's gonna be great.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you Nat, not Nate, Nat.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna be like. What's her name again?
You and what's her face? You want to do this or not? No, your dad doesn't talk like that. He's an educated man. You'll do great. I wish I could go, but I don't want to get fired from my job.
You should have gotten fired.
Ah.
You know, I wish I could go too. I just wish I had an invitation.
You know, Joe, I
knew him many years ago.
I didn't know Joe when we sent out the invitation, so I don't feel that bad, but I also do feel bad because, like, had I known Joe, he definitely would have gotten an invite. But Joe, we can send videos.
I just want to see you guys in a suit. I want to see you in those gimp suits.
Whoa, which one?
I don't care.
Joe wants to see some.
No, you'll be in the tux. Sammy will be in the regular suit for his job, and Pat will be in the gimp suit.
I am going to be wearing
He just wants to see some Pat tries. Like,
well, I'm going to be traveling on the day, but I will be wearing a suit that week. I'll send you guys some cool suit pics.
Oh, please do.
The three of us in his suit, Bradfo in his baseballs and Boeing sweatshirt. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, cannot wait. Bradfield's gonna be handing out stickers. That's gonna be great.
I hope when you walk down the aisle after
hands
you
you a
guys like do
sticker.
your vows and stuff, he just has a sticker in the aisle with a camera up as you walk by. That's what I hope for. That'd be incredible.
Saying the vows.
You got to
Let it
tell
be
him to
said,
do that.
Let it be said. Let it be done. Kiss the bride.
I should say that in my vows. let it be said.
Are you going to yell McFarland before you say I do?
You gonna be saying
my
vows?
God.
McFarland. Yes, I do.
Do you take Marissa to be your lawfully wedded wife?
You know, when I was a kid, I thought I didn't realize it was lawfully, like lawful. I thought it was like LAUGHFUL, like a different word, like lawfully. Like I thought lawfully was something, and then when I was like
You're laughing.
8, I was like, oh, lawfully. Anyway, let's go to
Gordo's
bed.
the uncultured.
I just thought of my dream scenario.
Do tell.
When the cake gets cut, you know, like the stereotypical, like you put the cake in the other person's face, that whole thing is just, do you know what I'm talking about?
What do you mean put the cake in the other person's face? Like,
Yeah, but you know what I'm
pat them in
talking
the
about?
face?
I know what
Yeah,
you
we were like,
Yeah.
smush
You
it
like
with
cut
the
a piece of cake and like you rub frosting on their face. It won't happen. But could you imagine? You have Gordo's lovely fiance and Gordo, and they're all lovey-dovey. They're smearing frosting on each other's faces, giggling, And
Super
Rob just runs up with a handful of wasabi and just starts
Oh, wasabi
Wasabi
cake.
cake. Oh,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like he takes it and throws a sweeper.
No. Rob and the wasabi.
Rob he's got wasabi on him at all times, ready to go for situations just like this.
yes. All right, it's midnight. I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, let's
Pat's
wrap
got to
this
wake up
baby
in
up.
6 hours. Let's go.
Appreciate y'all tuning in for episode 123 of Play Tessie. Before you get going, remember, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe everywhere. Even if you only listen on Apple, go to Spotify, subscribe there too. Go to Google, subscribe everywhere. YouTube as well. If you're on YouTube, you can hit the thumbs up on the video, and we'd really appreciate that. If you want to find us on YouTube, we're on WEI's page. Got a Play Tessie playlist in there where you can find all of the videos, and as always, hit the thumbs up there. You can find us on the socials at Play Tessie on both Twitter and Instagram. For Sammy, for Pat, for Joe producing, it's Gordo here. Till next time, go Sox. Let's keep it going. Let's just get in this race and just stay in it, please, and make the playoffs, and then win some playoff rounds, and then win the World Series.
Please.
Thank you.
Please.
Please. And peace.